It is time for another update on the Pioneer Reserve and Pioneer Alpha. We see that Tesla went through a little bit of a turmoil week last week and also this week has struggled keeping up. We have a lot of news on Tesla that we covered over the last few days, from Optimus announcement in 90 days, my last video, and Robotaxi. Of course, the big debate: is Robotaxi real? Is it not real? Is it delayed? Did Elon on the earnings call say it's actually not happening at the speed we want? But at the same time, why do we see all these cybercars being churned out? Cars that can only drive effectively without a driver. So they're producing all these self-driving cars, but they can't make them drive themselves. Something is off. Very interesting time. And in this time, where we as Tesla investors try to make the best of it, we of course have to look at Pioneer Alpha and how we are doing. This is one of these videos where we look at the Pioneer Reserve, our Luxembourg vehicle, where we actually trade what I'm talking about every week. And here are the results. I'm very happy about last week. We are only up 1.59%, but of course that's not bad for a week. That is as of yesterday, Monday, April 27th, from April 20th. Why am I so proud of what we did? It actually paid off that I predicted accurately the earnings call. Not completely accurately, but I was in principle right. And when I'm right, we can make money because we position ourselves accurately. So what I said is, we already dropped too much. I said these earnings won't have a lot of bad surprises. The odds of the earnings being good or beating are much higher than the earnings being bad. And that is why I positioned myself with out of the money short puts. If that's too technical for you, it basically means I'm betting on Tesla being flat, being a little bit up, or if it's down, not being down too much. And I had a relatively high certainty on that. So we went in, and if I'm right, I can keep all my premiums. That is why we actually made a gain despite Tesla doing pretty badly in this last week. Tesla is down 3.52%, but we are up 1.59%. Why is this so important? Because these weeks make a big difference. We have an alpha over Tesla in a single week of 5.11%. So if you have $1 million in Tesla, 50,000 added here in effectively free Tesla shares. This all pays out, and that's a single week. So that means over the year now, we have an unbelievable 21% alpha over Tesla. Our portfolio is up 5.23%, not too great. Let's look at the S&P. Maybe S&P beats us at this point. No, we're still ahead of the S&P with a tiny little alpha this year of 0.43%. But of course, because we are so much into these AI stocks that outperform the S&P dramatically in the long term so far. This is not a look ahead announcement or prediction, of course. We are dealing with securities here and trading. So I'm never saying what the future will bring. I'm talking about the past. And if you look, for example, 6 months, we are ahead of the S&P 3.55% alpha. Not bad. And when you look at since inception over 2 years, of course, completely crushing this thing with 54% alpha. And Tesla, year to date, as I said, this is an excellent number. I'm very proud of this number. This is why we are putting so much work in here and looking at Robotaxi, looking at, of course, Optimus and all the little details that matter with the stock, and tracking the tactical movements of the stock. So where do I think we go from here? I said it multiple times now. I think Tesla is stronger than it has been in a very long time, since all-time highs in December. We are looking at a company that is fundamentally now proven to be much stronger than it was in December. And in December, we had all-time highs. We had 490. That was the all-time high for Tesla, December 16th, 2025. Now we are 4 months into the new year, and we are vastly below that. We are 120 points, 115 points below all-time highs, while the reference indices like the Nasdaq and the S&P are at all-time highs, while the company is much stronger. Whatever we were as Tesla in December, all-time highs, we are much better off now. And so we have a massive discount on the company right now. That is how I see it. So notwithstanding any bad market moves that could drag this whole thing, of course, down. Look at this. This is pretty bad action today. But I am very bullish. If the markets hold up, if the markets don't crash in any way. So Nasdaq today a little weak. We had some OpenAI news that are dragging down NVDA and the semiconductors. NVIDIA was very good to Pioneer Alpha. This is our second largest position, and we gained a lot of alpha yesterday with NVIDIA. I think today it is a bloodbath. Where are we at with NVIDIA? Yes, down 3.7% on some fake news on OpenAI. OpenAI, of course, as always, not having enough money, saying they can't buy enough chips, whatever, and the market taking down NVIDIA for it, even though we know NVIDIA is sold out until the end of time, as it looks like, because there is an infinite demand for new compute. And when I say infinite as an economist, I mean infinite. Every piece of compute generates multiples of what it costs in economic value, and there is no cap. That will go on forever because it's the nature of intelligence. Taking NVIDIA down, very stupid, but good for us. We can just double down on that stuff. A little bit hedging the Tesla situation. Tesla in this situation actually looking pretty strong. You have to always see it in context. The Nasdaq's down 1.37% and Tesla is only down 1.14%. That is pretty bullish because normally Tesla has a beta of 2, so it should be down twice as much as Nasdaq, but it's only less down compared to Nasdaq and was even green today. So this is a validator for my thesis, in my opinion, that we will go back to 400 in a very short period of time. That's how I'm positioned right now. If we don't go up, it's not going to be great for me, but I have a break-even point for end of the week at 372 roughly. If we end up above 372, I'm staying in short puts a lot, high exposure short puts. 372 is my break-even point. Above it, I make money. Above 385, I will make a lot of money. That is how I'm positioned because I believe 400 is in the cards if we don't see any bad things happen to the market. So whatever I'm saying here, it's all probabilistic. You have to always be cautious. You have to watch out for Iran, for macro, for weird things, clouds brewing in the market sky. You have to be cautious. But generally, I think Tesla will go back to 400 very soon. Now, from there, we have to reassess once we get there what's happening next. In principle, all-time highs for Tesla do not require anything specific. It does not require robotaxi to scale to tremendous heights. It does not mean we need to get to that inflection point and forcing function of 1,800 unsupervised robotaxis. You know my whole thesis on that. If we get there, if we get to true scaling into the thousands or tens of thousands of robotaxis, we are dealing with something very different. A repricing of the stock that can take us to 1,000, in my opinion. But as long as it's not happening, I think the path to all-time highs is a very quick and short path. That's what we should be preparing for. So today we clearly have a bad market day because of the semiconductor panic. That is fine. Should be a little hiccup in my opinion, a little breather after all these rallies upwards. Now, quick announcement. I already told the live crowd on Pioneer Academy in pioneerlands.org about it. They always hear it first. You are always invited to go to pioneerlands.org too. It is free. You can sign up. You can ask your questions. But we are actually launching a new bond. You know, we are doing these bonds with our Luxembourg securitization vehicle where you can participate in Pioneer Alpha. This new bond is pretty exciting. You can go to pioneeralpha.org, linked in the description. If you're interested in more details, this is not a solicitation for any kind of security sales. It is just informational, so you understand what we are doing here. We constructed a new vehicle that is, in my opinion, very interesting for everyone who wants to get Tesla exposure and has upside with Tesla without a cap on the upside. So this is a new bond we are issuing with Pioneer Reserve that is directly linked to the Pioneer Alpha portfolio that I am in charge of. And that bond is structured as follows. It's pretty interesting. That bond basically pays out the bond holders without any fees other than operating expenses. Operating expenses are 1.5% per year, 3-year maturity, and gives the investors in the bond all the upside of Pioneer Alpha up to the Tesla performance in the same period of time. So Tesla is a benchmark. And then on top of Tesla, 50% of any additional alpha the portfolio generated above Tesla. So in short, in 3 years, here's a scenario table. Tesla goes up 300%. by 2029. It's probably going to go up more in my opinion, but who knows. Pioneer Alpha goes up 400%, so we have a little alpha there. Bond payout is 350%, 300% plus the differential. If we see something terrible, Tesla only goes up 20% in 3 years, who knows? And Pioneer Alpha goes up 80%, the investors will get 20% plus the differential, which is 50%. And if Tesla goes up 50% and Pioneer Alpha goes only up 20%, so underperforming Tesla, bond investors get a payout of 20%. And on the negative side, similar things, they get half the loss above or beyond the loss of Pioneer Alpha if Tesla loses more money than Pioneer Alpha, so capital at risk. This is basically designed for anyone who likes Pioneer Alpha, who believes we can sustain that advantage that we see here so far over the last 2 years since inception, since January 1st, 2024, when we actually started measuring and systematically trading the whole thing. AI portfolio, focus on Tesla, opportunistically, getting also other stocks like NVDA, MicroStrategy, Robinhood, a bunch of tactical positions, and having options, potential strategies in here. So anyone who likes that can look at this. It's only for qualified investors, accredited in the United States, qualified in Europe. If you don't know what that means, you can look it up. It's basically just some guardrails from the regulators. On top of it, easy to read up, also on the website. And so that is the new thing. You can go here, see all the difference, all the details here, view terms, right? We have the term sheet and everything on here. So if you like that, you are more than welcome to take a look here if you are a qualified investor. That is my message for today. Let's see what the week brings. We are very excited about it. I think 400 is in the cards sooner than later. I think it's always wrong to be scared when everyone is scared. Look at the facts, look at the company, look at all-time highs, look at market all-time highs, look at how Tesla's relative way down compared to the market, while it's a much stronger company compared to December Tesla. And so I do not believe I have to be scared right now. So this was a technical update, lots of performance data here and stock outlooks. We will have much more technology news coming very soon, and I hope you found that interesting. So see you tomorrow.